need his name up in lights. He just wants to be heard, whether it's the beat of the mic. He feels so unlike everybody else, alone, in spite of the fact that some people still think that they know. But no, he knows the code. It's not about the salary, it's all about reality and making some noise, making a story, making sure his click stays up. That means when he puts it down, Todd's picking it up. Let's go.
Who the hell is he anyway? He never really talks much, never concerned with status, but still even him starstruck. Humble through opportunities given despite the fact that many misjudge him because he makes a living from writing raps. Put it together himself, got a picture connects, never asking for someone's help or to get some respect. He's only focused on what he wrote, his will is beyond reach, and now it all unfolds, the skill of an artist.
This is 20% skill, 80% beer, be 100% clear, cause Ryu was ill. Who would've thought he'd be the one that set the West in flames? And I heard him wreck it with the crystal method, name of the game. Came back, dropped Megadeth, took him to church. I like Bleach, man. Ryu had the stupidest verse, this dude is the truth. Now every
Language. Hey, we're here with Finn Heck from the CAC United Sport and Cycle before tonight's matchup against KC. Finn, tell us, you got a new identity line put together tonight with yourself at center, Logan Schufelt and Evan Burnett. Tell me a little bit about that line.
I think we're just gonna go up there and cause havoc. We're gonna get punch deep and forecheck home.
So do you guys have a nickname for this line that's been put together for tonight?
The power line.
Power line. So Finn, also, this is the last game of the regular season. You guys are obviously getting ready for playoffs in about a week. What are some things you guys can work on tonight that's going to help you for the playoffs?
I just think we have to get up stronger in the room. Just forecheck hard and fair game.
Awesome. Well, best of luck tonight, Finn, and go hard.
Thank you.
Tell them to send me another. Tell them to send me another guy.
Hey, you want to say that?
We're here with Jackson Taylor for the United Cycle CAC. Jackson, tell me tonight's the last game of the regular season. You guys are getting ready for the playoffs. What are some things you guys got to work on tonight to be successful in the playoffs?
Just the breakout and getting shots on net.
So tell me, you've played KC a couple times this year. They got a big, heavy team. You've had some close games. What do you think you need to do to get by them tonight?
We just got to keep our heads up and move the puck.
Awesome. And Jackson, tell me, tonight you got a newly formed line. You're with Akash Dhaliwal. And who else you with?
Bernie.
And Bernie. So tell me what that line looks like tonight.
I think it'll be good. We just got to move the puck and it'll be good.
Awesome. Well, best of luck.
Thank you.
Thanks again, Andrew. Looks like about 40 seconds left on the warm-up clock. We're going to be going pretty quickly here, folks. You're not in the picture. You're good. All right, folks, we are almost ready here. Just a few pre-game duties to do still. And then we're going to drop the puck on this final regular season game for the Canadians. Let me just double check something. All right, folks. Anthem's done. Starting lineups on the ice, ready to go. Officials having the last words with the benches. 20 minutes on the clock. Let's get this first period started with this closeout game for the regular season. Playoffs start. Actually, it's a little more than a week for CAC. We're going to start on the 10th, I believe. All right, working the camera tonight, Mr. Greg Eagle. Thank you for stepping in. My name is Curtis Bykowski, and the puck is dropped. Canadians win the face-off. Duffett over to Frostad. Frostad to Duffett on the near side. He's going to send that up the ice. Skips to the far side. Picked up by number 17, Davies, and shoveled into the Canadian zone. Frostad picks that up. Who tries to put it on the near side? That's turned over inside the zone. Now it's chipped out. Schufelt picks that up for the Canadians. Coming up the left side and into the KC zone. Moving it down low. It's going to cycle to the far side of the net. He retains possession. Take it into the boards by Soko. Put loose. Picked up by Burnett. He goes behind the net. Chipped over to the near side. Spurs going to get that out to the neutral zone. Cut off by Schufelt, though. Spurs keep coming with it. Losing the handle was Guinchard. Puck gets into the Canadian zone, though. Handled by, oh, there's a bump. Guinchard gets pushed off the puck by Hoare, and Hoare heads up the ice, gets it to West. West drops that back. Delayed offside indicated. KC has time to break out in their own zone. Sends it to the far side, looking for Lang. He's chopped off the puck by Eagle. Canadians move it up the near side. Thorvaldson into the zone. That's going to be chipped out. Oh, kept in by Hoare. He chases up. Thorvaldson keeps that down the line. Eagle steps in, shovels that into the far corner. Picked up by the Canadians. Thorvaldson, not Thorvaldson. There's a high shot by Hoare. Put over to the near boards. Canadians with it. Thorvaldson down low. That's going through the slot. Comes out to the right point for Eagle. Hard shot on. There's the first save for Kong in the game. Canadians keep possession. Hoare with it. Left side for West. High shot. Blocker saved by Kong. Gray picks up the puck. Sends it to the far side. Lang tries to bring that out. Puck falls back to Davies. Davies moves that towards the Canadian zone. Canadians get it back on their own side, though. Ulrich with it. He's going to skid across his blue line. Sends it over to Turcotte. Turcotte with it. Up to Ulrich. Ulrich tries to step in. He's upset by Gray. And Spurs have the puck in their own zone. Canadians battle it back. Ulrich shovels that into the slot. Picked up by Yamniak. Left side for Enriquez Gomez. Back to the point for Ulrich. There's a shot chipped in front. Kong's going to send that over to the near side. Spurs putting that down the ice. It's touched, so icing's going to be waved off. Black out to play it. Black hard up the far boards. Looking for Yamniak. Nice pass to Yamniak. Comes up to Zahara. That is taken off his puck. Followed up by Enriquez Gomez. Here comes Santi into the slot. Oh, sends that back for Zahara. That's then going to end up back in the neutral zone where Turcotte will just dump it in the Spurs side. Spurs, outlet pass. Connecting with Mansouri. He couldn't handle it cleanly. Taylor picks up the puck for the Canadians. Coming up the left side, right in front. Backhand shot by Dollywall. That is blocked in traffic. Picked up in the far corner by the Spurs. Spurs come across center, lose the handle. Frostad gets the puck over to Duffett. Duffett on the near side. Couldn't get it past Mansouri. Duffett gets the puck back though, goes behind his own net, resetting, gets it to Frostad. Frost up to Dollywall. Dollywall hard off, has Richard rushing in, trying to beat out the icing. Not gonna happen right now. We're gonna get a stop with 16:33 left in the first period after that icing call. You disappear, and we'll call that. Okay. Face off far side in the Canadian zone. Ooh, Spurs win it. Gray over to Soko. Soko takes that, shovels it below the Canadians goal line. Frostad tries to put it up, but it's knocked down by the Spurs. Ooh, Canadians gonna break out now. No, it's picked up on the back check by the Spurs. Tagliamonte. Thrown up on the near side. Walking in, Tagliamonte steps in the slats, goes to the far side. Morris gets the puck away from him, kept into the line by Soko. Oh, in front, it's tipped, and Tagliamonte got Tagliamonte got a piece of that, but Black reacts quickly, stopping the puck with 16:03 left in the first period. Oh, I didn't realize that this was so far behind. All right, well, hope that works. Puck coming out to center, chipped in by Schufelt. Schufelt goes to the far corner, battles against Soko, gets around him, moves it up the near side. Taken away by the Spurs. Dumped in the Canadian zone. Eagle, far side. He's beat to the puck by Haverstock, but the Canadians end up getting it. Schufelt chips that to the far side. Spurs turning that back. Comes out, centering pass. Ooh, up to Daw. Left side. Spurs with a shot. Couldn't connect with Daw. Comes up the near side. Canadians going to get that out. Ooh, it stays in. Nice hard work there by Heiford. Heck comes back for the Canadians. Gets the puck over to Morris. Morris tries to center that. Knocked down by Lorentz. Over to Daw. Still in the Canadian zone. Centering pass. Chipped on. Black had to drop quickly and stop that. Another one. Black with the stop. Thrown out in front. That's blocked by the Canadians. Defender Morris. And the net looks like it's come off. We're going to get a whistle. Good timing for the Canadians as they're starting to get a run around in their own zone. Pause in action comes with 14:54 left in the first period. Face off, far side in the Canadian zone. Canadians move it up the ice. West chops that in the near side, but so's going to get there back for the Spurs. Followed up by West. He shoveled that into traffic, knocked down by the Spurs. They're going to rush it out. Prasad over to Mansoret. Mansoret. Oh, what a shot! And that's off the blocker of Black back to the point. Mansoret steps into the right side. Oh, there's one from the point. And so puts that center mass into Black. He's going to hang on to that one with 14:24 left in the first period. I want to say Mansoret made a great move getting around the defender, came on, ripped when blocker's side, but Black had a great position and sends it to the far boards. Puck's dropped in the Canadian zone. Canadians end up getting it. They try and lead it down the ice. However, too far for the streaking forward. We have an icing call with 14:16 left in the first period. Face-off will be on the near side of, the far side of the Canadian zone. Just fixing the choppiness a little here, folks. Don't need that. Oh, those worked awesome. Puck's in the Spurs zone. Stuck in the feet. Now it comes loose. Comes out to the neutral zone. Picked up by the Spurs. Broken up by the Canadians. Cross ice pass by Zahar. No, that was West, to Thorwaldson. Thorwaldson dumps that into the far corner. We'll go for a change. Coming up the near side, Nurse. Puck, lost the puck to Yamniak. Yamniak comes in. That's going to come out of the zone. Frostad dumps that in the Spurs zone. Lets the Canadians tag up. Spurs coming up the near side. That's turned over at center. Frostad dumps that in the near boards. Spurs pick it back up. So, goes to the far side. Now it comes out to center. Frostad again will try and dump it back in and hit a man. It's going to bounce back to Duffett on the near side. Duffett up the boards. Enriquez Gomez, who finishes the dump in. Chased up by Zahara. Zahara. Oh, centering pass. That comes off the side of the net. Cleared away by the Spurs. Enriquez Gomez shovels that down low. On the far side was Zahara. He lost the handle, and it was picked up by Tagliamonte, but he lost that at center. Enriquez Gomez, near side for Turcotte. Back to the point for Duffett. Oh, sorry, that was Zahara, not Turcotte. Enriquez Gomez picks that up in the far corner. Dhaliwal chases him in. Puck comes loose. Activating from the wall was Frosted. Comes back to Duffett, and it looks like now the Spurs net has come off. And we're going to stop here with 12:09 to go in the first period. Puck's dropped in the Spurs zone. Spurs break out. Trying to drive it wide. Number 13, Lorentz. Canadians get the puck back. Dhaliwal keeps it on the boards. Spurs get it back in the offensive zone. Centering pass broken up by the Canadians. Comes in the slot. There's a high shot over the crossbar. Stays in play coming off the glass. Eagle tries to shovel it over to Morris. Morris gets it back to Eagle. Eagle's pass hits escape, but comes over to Richard. Richard up the near side and into the Spurs zone. Dhaliwal picks that in the corner. Centering pass. There's a shot by Taylor. Rolls up the boards. Morris keeps that in at the point. Twice now. Still battling for it on the boards. Eagle has to cross over, pick up the puck in the neutral zone. Shoveled towards the Spurs zone, but Highford moves that back to the Canadian zone. Eagle takes it, dumps that into the Spurs side. Spurs trying to drive that down the ice. Lead pass broken up by Heck. Schufeld moves that back to Ulrich. Well, looking for Burnett, and that's going to end up chopped out of play. And we're going to stop with 10:53 left in the first period. Neither team able to find the back of the net yet. Teams maybe just still feeling each other out. A couple of good chances, but nothing I'd call grade A, grade plus. That's where I had a good one on Black. Not sure the Canadians have a really good one yet. Canadians coming into the Spurs zone now. Schufelt on the near side. Shovels that in front. Comes back to the point. Turcotte with a shot. That's kicked away by Kong. Spurs moving that up the ice. Mansoret on the far side. Tracked down by Turcotte. He's taken off the puck. Canadians, Ulrich, Schufelt centered that to Taylor. It stays in the Canadian zone. Burns lost control. Ulrich up the right side. Schufelt has a step coming in the right side. There's a shot. Kong with the save. Ends up high in the air. Down on Kong. Swept away. Back for Schufelt. Kong another save. Schufelt picks up his own rebound. Goes behind the net. Cycles it to the far side. Looking for Burnett. Up to the point to Turcotte. Turcotte moving that down low. Schufelt can't get down there. Taylor comes on the opposite side though. Gets the puck back for the Canadians. It bounces off a player. Goes to Burns. And then it's down the ice. Mansoret on a breakaway. Coming in. Low shot. That's off the glove of Black. Cleared away by Ulrich. Sent down the ice. Schufelt chips that into the Spurs zone. Tries to chase it up. Puck swept off to the far boards. Dhaliwal puts that deep into the zone. Soho over to Mansoret. Mansoret's going to wait for it on the boards. Takes that into the corner and hangs on. Loosened up by Soho. Soho's going to head down the ice now. Soko going up the right side, left side. There's a shot by Burns. Oh, Soko tried to tap that in. It goes through his wheelhouse up on the near side. Stays in the Canadian zone. Bounced off for trying to chip that around Gray. Comes into the neutral zone. Tagliamonte on the back check. Gets it back. Flips it to the far side in the Canadian zone. Tips that into the corner. Duffett fighting against Prasad for the puck. Prasad comes away with it. Gets the puck up. Centering pass from number 12, Nurse. Right on to Black. Black's going to reach over, cover this one up, and we're going to stop here with 8:59 to go in the first period. Face off, won by the Canadians. Trying to move to the outside, so he's going to cut that off. Comes back to Tagliamonte, who's covering at the point. Sends that in the corner. Nurse tries to spin around. Couldn't get into the slot, so he puts the puck back into the corner. Picked up by Prasad. Prasad lost the handle. Hoare moves the puck up to West. West takes the wide. Dumps the puck into that far corner. Goes to chase it. Tries to battle against Hefford for it. Now comes loose for the Spurs. Rushing it down the ice is So. Right side for Nurse. Swiped off his stick was Nurse. Thorvaldson sends that down the near side, looking for Hoare. It skips past him, and we have an icing call against the Canadians with 8:17 to go in the first period. Draw will be on the near side in the Canadian zone. Put to the near boards. Chipped away by Enriquez Gomez. Davies goes back for KC. Moves that up to center. Goes into the skates of Lorenz. Lorenz didn't see it, so the Canadians dump it into the Spurs zone. Battle for it on the near boards of the Spurs side. Rolls around the boards to the far side. Cut off by Yamniak. Puck come out to center though. Ulrich with it. Looking for Enriquez Gomez. That's blocked by Haverstock. Centering pass. There's a chance. Oh, that's off the blocker of Black. Comes off the pads. Canadians first to the rebound. Enriquez Gomez picks up the puck. Comes up the left side. Nice pass. Oh, he's looking for Yamniak. Yamniak has to go to the far boards. Zahara. Here's a chance. Enriquez Gomez. There's a shot. Kong comes out to challenge. Puck still available. Goes to the far corner. Kong with a great save there, and play will continue as they battle against the boards. It's put back to the point. Turcotte. There's a shot. Kong got it. Dropped down. It goes behind the net. Spurs are going to pick that up. Trying to wheel it out was number 4. Comes over to Haverstock, number 10 on the near side, and it's dumped into the Canadian zone. Behind the net, Duffett. Moving up the near side to Richard. Richard chips that into the Spurs zone. Picked up behind the net by Heiford. Heiford gets some help by Lang to get that into the neutral zone. Spurs coming up the right side. Burns tries to drive down low. Low shot on Black, makes that save, and the Canadians are able to clear that puck back out to center. Spurs pick it up. Sent to the far side by Gray. Spurs lose it inside the Canadian zone. Get it back on the exit. Lang keeps that in. Burns knocks down Dollywall, but in the attempt, the puck comes out with him. Dollywall picks up the puck behind Burns. That's stopped on the far side by the Spurs defenseman, Heiford. Taylor with it on the near side. Gets the puck up to Richard. Richard squeezes past the check, going down low. Shot low on Kong, and Kong will make that save. Picking the puck up with the glove. And we got to stop here with 5:58 left in the first period. Neither team able to find that solution. Yeah, I'm still getting feedback there. I don't know why. Who's talking to me? One of my mics is still going. Oh, here comes the Spurs into the zone. Pass over to the right side. Mansour. It falls off his stick. Send it right through the slot. Goes to the far side. Picked up by the Spurs. Carrying it down low. Comes over to the near side. Eagle with it for the Canadians. He's going to hang on to it. Looking for that outlet pass. Just flips that up the ice. Mansour knocks it down, but it's followed up by Heck. Heck comes into the Spurs zone, taking the left wing. Thrown out in front, looking for Burnett. That skips over to the right boards. Eagle pinches. Mansour gets the puck. No, Nurse gets the puck around him. Has Mansour in front. Puck sent down low. Black makes the poke check on, or well, it's just a paddle save on the centering pass. Spurs pick it up on the near side at the point. Soko with it. Down low for Guinchard. That's broken up by Heck, who puts it off the glass. Soko picks that up for the Spurs at center. Over to Guinchard. Dumped into the Canadian zone. Morris is going to pick that up. Shoveled over to Eagle. Eagle hangs onto it. Moves it back to Morris. Morris back to Eagle. Eagle. Hard off the glass. That's going to come out to center. Highford picks that up for the Spurs. Coming over the near side. Dumped in by Haverstock. Highford chases it up. Cut off by Duffett. Thorvaldson centers that. That's broken up by the Spurs. Through the slot. Over the near side. Broken up by Duffett. Hoare puts that down the ice. West with it on the near side. Dumps that. Oh, puts that right in front for Thorvaldson. He knocks the puck down. Oh, and what a play by Eric Thorvaldson. It was a bouncing puck high. So it was West who sent it to him. It was bouncing across the ice. It's a little warm here. And a great job by Thorvaldson to knock down, calm the puck, get it back to his backhand, and put that over the shoulder of Kong and into the back of the net. And the Canadians open up the scoring with 3:58 left in the first period.
The CAC United Sports Cycle goal scored by number 17, Eric Thorvaldson. Assistant number 14, Oliver West. And number 8, Jacob Moore. Time of the goal, 3:58.
Let's see here. Puck's in the Spurs zone. Turned over at center is Yamniak with it. Over to Duffett. Duffett to Frostad. Frostad back to Duffett on the near side. Has Zahara rushing down the ice, but that was broken up at center. Lang picks up the puck in the corner of the Canadian zone. Put down low, centering pass. That's going to be read by Enriquez Gomez. He's going to rush it up, get in there in front of Gray, but he has to take that into the corner. Centering pass. Ooh, Gray takes Enriquez Gomez hard into the boards. Spurs turn it up the ice. Burns tries to get through Turcotte. Turcotte knocks him off the puck. Burns keeps control, though. Couldn't move it to Prasad. Burns again centers that. That's broken up by the Canadians. Here's Zahara. Left side for Hoare. Hoare into the zone. Couldn't get past Soko. Mansoret comes back. Moves to the far side. That's cut off by West. Shovel down low. Soko chips that up the ice. Right from the bench. Thorvaldson rifles one. That's into the glove of Kong, and he'll hang on with 2:28 left in the first period. I don't know where Thorvaldson came at the end of that play, but that was quite the rip. Great reaction by Kong, keeping it out of the net. We'll have a face-off on the far side in the Spurs zone. Goes into that corner, but Spurs retain possession. Soko trying to send that up the ice. That was knocked down by Thorvaldson in the zone. Ulrich comes up. Could only keep it in for a second. Mansoret now moves it to the far side. Left side for Burns. This is going to be called offside. We got to stop here with 2:11 to go in the first period. So it took a team 3/4 of the first period to get on the board, but it's the Canadians who score first. They hang on to a 1-0 lead at the late stages of the first. Spurs win that draw. They get the puck into the Canadian zone. Black to play it over to Morris. Morris up the near boards to Hoare. Hoare wants to hang on to it. Now he moves it to Eagle. Eagle streaking into the zone. Good job by the forwards to keep their feet on the line and stay on side. Eagle behind the net, and looks like the net is knocked off behind Kong. So we get a whistle and a face-off coming in the Spurs zone with 1:49 left in the first period. Straight up have no idea where. Well, I found my problem. All right, so the puck. Oh, another one by the Canadians. Oh, I didn't. So worried about the sound, I forgot to look at the play. So the Canadians score late in the first period to go up 2-0.
The CAC United Sports Cycle goal scored by number 17, Eric Thorvaldsen.
Second one of the game for Thorvaldsen. Having a banner night. Assists by Hoare and West. Canadians with the puck in their own zone. All Rich to Duffett up to Taylor, up to Richard from his knees, backhand shot as he's knocked down, but Kong is going to contain that. We'll get the stop here with 1 minute to go in the first period. Face-off will be far side in the Spurs zone. Spurs win it. Put it behind the net. Over to the near side. Dumped out to center. Chipped over to the right. Boards picked up by Haverstock. Haverstock looking for a trailer. That was Lorenz, but the pass to him was blocked by the Canadians. Duff it on the near side. Over to Taylor. Taylor has it hop off a stick. Haverstock with the shot. That was blocked in front by Frostad. Richard moves that up the ice. It's off the skate of Dollywall and into the Spurs zone. 30 seconds to play in the first. Spurs trying to move it up the near side. Canadians cut that off. Taylor walking that down. There's a shot. Oh, just over the crossbar. Held on the right side by Frostad. Put down low, bouncing puck. And Kong is going to find that through traffic. Able to knock it down and jump on the rebound. Hanging on with 16 seconds to go in the first period. Good job by the Canadians. Get in front of the net. Create some traffic and take away the eyes of the goaltender. But Kong doing a great job finding the biscuit in traffic. Stopping play. Next face-off, Spurs win it in their own zone. Mansouri moves it up the near side. Pass up to Daw. Daw has the puck taken off his stick. Burns goes back to chase it. Challenged by Heck. Schufeld comes in and gets the puck out to the neutral zone, and the buzzer is going to go on the first period. Canadians will head into the dressing room with a 2-0 lead. Goals coming late, like under 5 minutes left in the third period or first period. We're going to let our sponsors get a word in here, folks, and I'll get a breath in during the intermission. We'll see you on the second, or on the other half of the intermission for the second period. Good evening, folks. Happy Friday. We're here for the last regular season game in this AEHL matchup between the United Sport and Cycle Canadians and the KC Spurs. Spurs find themselves in a 2-goal deficit. They had chances, couldn't bury them. Canadians, on the strength of their centerman, Erik Thorvaldsen, who put 2 goals in the period, enjoy a comfortable lead. Uncomfortable. 2-goal lead is the worst lead in hockey. So I take that back. But 3 does make it a little more comfortable. All right, we're getting ahead of ourselves, folks. Let's worry about the second period. Glad you can join us tonight from wherever you get to watch. Or maybe you're watching the replay. That's cool too. Canadians win the draw. Frostad tries to connect with West, but it skips past him. We have an icing call, and the draw will be down in the Canadian zone. Well, Callingwood A, there's still some wet ice out there. I'm surprised we didn't skid it off a little bit longer. Ooh, there's a one-timer that goes wide on the far side after the Spurs win the face-off in the offensive zone. Spurs keep the puck in the Canadian zone, though. Kicked away by Duffett. Cross-ice pass to West. Connects with him. Goes West over to Hoare. In front, looking for West. That is stopped by Kong. Hoare sends that down low. West on the near side. Slides that back, looking for Hoare. Do we have the net coming off? I don't see an arm up, so I'm going to guess the net came off again. And we'll stop play here with 19:22 left in the second period. Face-off will be on the near side in the Canadian zone. Spurs win it in their own zone. Spurs zone. Yeah, Frostad with it at center. Sends that to the far side to Thorvaldsen. Thorvaldsen back to Frostad. He's going to rush that in the right side. Hangs onto it. Wants to drop it to Hoare. Getting in his way is Guinchard. Put down low for Dollywall. Dollywall in front. That skips away from Zahara. Whistle goes again. Not 100% sure why. Oh, yeah. No, we're looking at the net one more time. Linesman making sure that KC net is set. Puck's dropped. Canadians win it back to the point for Hoare. Hoare has space. Sends that over to Frostad. Frostad gets that to Thorvaldsen. Thorvaldsen knocks that down, puts that down low for Dollywall. Dollywall near side for Hoare. Canadians on the power play, 1:20 left with the man advantage. Hoare moving down low. Hangs onto the puck. Chopped away from him by Guinchard. Raced for it. Hoare there first, moves that to Frostad. Frostad in his own zone. Putting the Jets on, coming up the left side with some speed. Now a hard stop. Moves down low, finds space. Near side for Hoare. Low shot. Kong kicks that away. Rebound cleared away by the Spurs. Guinchard. Whistle goes behind the play here. We got a slashing penalty being issued to Jacob Hoare. Didn't see what was going on behind the play there. But obviously, Hoare caught with a stick infraction. That's going to nullify the remainder of the Canadians' power play. We'll play 4-on-4 for 49 seconds, at which point the Spurs will be on the power play. Face off far side in the Canadian zone. Canadians win it.
CAC United Sports.
Eagle.
To number 8,
Back to the far side to Richard. Richard comes into the zone. Oh, I take that back. That is Taylor handling the puck. Taylor gets clobbered on the near boards. Spurs going to put that down the ice. Didn't understand that they were even strength. And they take an icing call, so the faceoff will be down in the Spurs zone with 17:50 to go in the second period. Face-off near side in the Spurs zone. Puck's dropped. Canadians have it. Dollywall tried to shovel that in front. That was knocked down by Tagliamonte. He threw the puck towards the Canadian zone. That's knocked down by Eagle. Eagle up to Burnett. Burnett chips that into the far corner. Goes to Chase. Davies there first. Cycles up the far boards. Gets the puck up to Dan. Dan centers that back to Davies. Davies dumps that in the left side of the Canadian zone. It's going to roll behind the net. Picked up on the far side by Dan. Daw kicks that loose. Centered that. Activating was Lawrence, but couldn't get it to him. Spurs officially on the power play now. Right in behind his own net, Prasad. Now he ventures out, sends the puck to the right side to Davies. Davies carries that in, dumps that in the Canadian zone. Turcotte knocks it down low, but that's going to be picked up behind by Highford. Near side for Nurse. Nurse walking it down. Pushes that up the boards. Highford starts walking back the other way. Down low for Nurse. Nurse hangs onto it. Moves it to the point to Highford. That skips past the right winger, and the Canadians will clear the zone, putting the puck down the ice. Lawrence, lead pass for Mansoret. Mansoret lost the handle. Turcotte puts the puck out to center. Highford comes in quickly, and Ulrich steps into him, moving the puck. Dollywall behind the net, over to Turcotte. Turcotte reverses it back to Ulrich. Moves the puck up to Schufeld. Schufeld chips that back to Hoare. Hoare coming in the near side. Hangs on. Oh, and Hoare just missing that far post. Not by much. That was really close on that one. Oh, I didn't know we lost that right camera. Well, tell you what, at the next break, I'll go fix that. Face-off won by the Canadians. Frostad at the right point. There's a shot right on to Kong, followed up by Dollywall. Dollywall cycles behind the net. Throws that in front. Another shot. That was blocked in traffic. Comes back to the point. Duffett over. And the nets come off one more time. I'm going to put my headset down and see if I can fix that camera on the far side. All right, Canadians put the puck back in the Spurs zone. Knocked down at center by Frostad. Frostad back in the right side. Gray picks it up for the Spurs. Lead pass looking for Daw. It skips past him. It'll be an icing call with 15:04 left in the second period. Face-off will be on the far side in the Spurs zone. Canadians win it. Jammed in front by West. That pops just over the crossbar. Spurs pick it up. Tagliamonte going to the right side to Guinchard. Guinchard dumps that into the Canadian zone. Rolls around the boards to the near corner. Eagle gets that up to West. Guinchard intercepts that. Directs that towards the net. Hops up high in the air. Cleared away by West. Sorry, not West, but Oh, Morris. Now Eagle has that on the far side. Gets the puck up to Hoare. Hoare to West. West. Back to Hoare. Hoare comes to his left side. Turns, fires that behind the net. Thorvaldson picks up the puck. Back to the point. Morris with it. Turns, fires that. Bounces to the far side for Hoare. Hoare back down low for West. West comes over to the near side. Hoare moves it up the boards. West moves it up the boards to Morris. Morris walks down. Down low for Thorvaldson. Back to Morris. That is broken up by the Spurs. And Tagliamani is going to move that out of the zone. Dumped into the Canadian zone. Eagle tries to chip it around the attacking Spur, but it's knocked against the boards. Comes loose for Thorvaldson. Thorvaldson will put that off a foot and down the ice. Kong sets that up for Davies. Davies gets that out to Heifert. Heifert comes into the Canadian zone, tries to make it inside the D. Turcotte wouldn't let that happen. Comes out in front, that is blocked. Nurse picks up the puck. Nurse walking it down the left side, cycling behind the net. Turcotte put him into the boards. Prasad picks up the loose puck. Back to the point for Heifert. Heifert for low shot. No, just moved to Nurse. Centering pass broken up by Ulrich. Nurse will get it back. Nurse on the near side. His centering pass broken up by the Canadians. Loose puck into the corner. Mansoret picks it up. Sent down low by the Canadians. Pinching in was Daw, carrying that down low. Comes up high for the Canadians. Enriquez Gomez will chip that to the outside. And hustling back for it is Heifert. Heifert reverses, goes to the far side, connects with maybe Davies. Turn over at center, here come the Canadians in the zone. Enriquez Gomez trying to shovel that back over to Zahara. Goes up high in the air. Heifert able to block that. Cool, pops out in front now, comes over to the near side. Prasad, far side for Mansoret, that's cut off by Turcotte. It's off the boards and back into the Spurs zone. Spurs put that out of play in their own zone. And we'll have a face-off on the far side in the Canadian zone. 12:15 to go in the second period. Canadians still up 2-0. Spurs win the draw in their own zone. Put to the outside by Gray. Picked up on the near side. Centering pass. Ends up on the stick of Daw. Burns chips that into the zone. Far side. Canadians moving that out of the zone. Spurs find it. Get out to center. Lang chips that up the boards. Coming up the left side is Lang. Lang into the zone. Low on Black. Tried to go back door. That gets through the slot. Sitting on the back side was Daw, but he couldn't tap it in. Daw with the puck. Drops that back at the line. That's broken up by the Canadians. Lead pass up for Schufelt. Schufelt off to the races. High shot. Kong with the save. Burns puts Schufelt into the boards. Here come the Spurs up the near side. Gray moves it to the line. Heck stops it for a sec, but Davies takes it away. Now he's going to move it up the ice for the Spurs. Up the left side. Driving down low. Stops. Waiting for it. Davies walks into the slot. Shot right in center mass of Black. And I don't know why. We got a quick whistle. The shot came hard off of Black and stayed in play. Maybe the officials lost it. Canadians benefit from a early whistle. 11:06 left in the second period. We'll have the face-off on the near side in the Canadian zone. Canadians win the draw. Morris on the far side tried to pull it off the boards. Goes back into the corner. Oh, what a nice move by Morris to escape two defenders there. Opens up some space. Moves that up to Dollywall. He's checked off the puck. Spurs turn it up the ice. Soko out the right side. Picked up by Haverstock. There's a shot off the mark. Rolls up the near boards. Heifert picks that up for the Spurs at the point. Starts walking it down. Takes that into the corner. Centering pass broken up by the Canadians. Can't get out of the zone though. Second effort, gets that out to center, but the puck is picked up by the Spurs' Guinchard. Dollywall had turned it over, but it bounces over to Morris. Morris sends that back, looking for Dollywall. Dollywall will find the back of the net. And the Canadians will go up 3-0 near the halfway mark of the second period. Great goal. It all started with Morris in his own zone making a great move in the corner. Moves the puck up to Dollywall. Dollywall was checked off the puck. Morris kept with the play, takes it in, moves it to the left side with Dollywall in trail. Morris moves the puck back to Dollywall, and it's just a snipe to the back of the net. Canadians up 3-0.
CAC United Sports Cycle.
Off the draw. Spurs get the puck into the Canadian zone. Now the Canadians turning up the ice again. West up to Hoare. Hoare looking for Thorwaldson. He has to tag up. He was a little ahead of the play. Puck moved down the ice. Nurse chips that into the Canadian zone. Turcotte back to play it. Over to Ulrich. Ulrich move that up the near boards. Chopped down at the line by West. Held in by the Spurs. There's Nurse with a shot. That's blocked by Turcotte. Nurse picks up his own rebound. Puts that in front again. Mansoret with a shot. And Black comes over and takes that away. Absorbing that low in the pads. Right in the gut and hangs on with 9:44 to go in the second period. Draw, far side in the Canadian zone. Owen Richard losing the draw to the Spurs centerman, comes to the point, and Soko takes a shot, but it ends up in the near corner. Canadians turning up the ice. Frostad rushes it up the ice. Left side looking for Taylor. That's broken up by the Spurs. They move it up the ice quickly. Left side for Lang. Shovels that forward for Daw. Daw around for Lang. In front. Black with the save, and he's going to hang on here with 9:22 left in the second period. Great rush there by the Spurs, but Black able to track the puck, and he hangs on, keeping the sheet clean and the scoreboard at you know what. Face-off near side in the Canadian zone. Spurs come away with the puck. Near side, low shot. That went right through the slot. Davies was trying to connect with the centerman in front. Canadians in transition. Here's Dollywall. Gets that over to Taylor. Taylor tries to feed that back to Dollywall. Puck comes behind the net. Dollywall with it. Moves that back to the point to Eagle. Eagle steps up high. There's a high shot knocked down over the near side. Taylor tried 2-3 times. Kong can't see it. But it's bounced in off the back of Kong and into the back of the net. Canadians score with 8:54 to go in the second period to take a 4-0 lead. That was just all-out effort, tenacious work by the Canadians forwards, Dollywall and Taylor. And I think it's Dollywall who gets credit with the goal. Could be Taylor on that one. I lost the camera on the right side. Didn't get a good replay or look at it. But the fact is the Canadians outworked KC on that goal. And they've been outworking them. Maybe getting a little bit of puck luck in the last 4 minutes here. Here comes KC, looking to battle it back. Prasad over to Mansoret. That shot knocked down by Black, cleared away by Eagle. Eagle inside the Canadian zone. Moves it up the near side for Yamniak. Yamniak sends that back down for Morris. Morris comes up the near side. Sends that over to Eagle. Eagle is going to rush that out. Makes the pass up the ice to Yamniak. Yamniak up the right side. Throws that into the slot. Looking for Zahara. That's broken up. Enriquez Gomez keeps that in the zone. Sends the puck down low. Zahara and Soko going to battle for it below the Spurs net. Soko wins that battle, sends it up the near side, can't get past Eagle. Eagle rips that from the point, knocked down in front. Kong makes the save. Canadians come away with the rebound. Enriquez Gomez on the far side. Mansoret almost off to the races, couldn't get past Enriquez Gomez. Puck comes back to So up in the near side to Burns. Burns tries to make the inside move. Great defensive play there by Eagle. And Burns is going to end up in the box for this one. He slammed Morris Slammed Morris's head into the boards behind the Canadians' net. And it's a boarding penalty being issued to number 9, Ben Burns of the Spurs. Penalty comes, 7:43 left in the second period. Canadians gonna get a good look at the power play here. They're already up 4-0. PP1 comes on. They're well rested, haven't been on the ice for a few minutes.
The KC Spurs penalty.
With the Canadians getting secondary scoring tonight.
Time of the penalty, 7:43.
Frostad sends the puck to the near side to Hoare. Hoare's pass knocked down. Frostad follows it up. Gets it to Zahara on the far side. He walks it into the zone. Hanging on. Dumps that back to Frostad. Frostad right side to Hoare. Hoare hanging on. Puts that down low for Dollywall. Dollywall, far side for Thorvaldson. Thorvaldson, down low for Dollywall. Dollywall in front, tries to backhand it in. And that is going to be caught by Kong. Kong making the save with 7:07 left in the second period. And now, we're going to have some chippiness here. Looks like somebody else is heading into the box. And that will be, Mr. Gray. T. Gray into the box. I think they'll call it roughing with 7:07 left in the second period. It'll be 5-on-3 with a minute 24 left in the initial penalty to Ben Burns. Dollywall got the skull cap back on. He's ready to go. Bucket secured. Canadians win the draw. Frostad over to Hoare. Hoare back to Frostad. Frostad sitting up top. Sends to the far side to Thorvaldson. Thorvaldson hanging on. Frostad walking it down just a bit. There's a slap shot. Oh, what a rifle by Max Frostad. Puts that underneath the blocker of the KC goaltender. And it's 5-0 for your CAC United Sport and Cycle Canadians. Took them 13 seconds of power play time to put that into the back of the net. One man will come out of the box, that'll be Burns. And the Canadians will still be on the power play. 14 seconds came off the clock. So 1:46 left in the power play for the Canadians. Here's power play 2, working it in. Enriquez Gomez back to Eagle. Eagle looking for, that was West on the far side, back to Eagle. Shot by Enriquez Gomez. That's wide. It's going to come off the boards and roll back to the Canadian zone. 6:35 to go in the second period. Eagle sets up in his own zone. 1:20 to go in the power play as West moves it to the right side. Richard gets into the zone. Richard hangs on. Gets that back to Eagle. Eagle steps in the center, left side. There's a shot by West that hit traffic. Knocked wide. Behind the net, Yamniak. Up to West. West wanted Enriquez Gomez at the point. That bounces out of the zone. Eagle back to play it. Eagle up to Enriquez Gomez. Puck comes back to Eagle. Near side for Enriquez Gomez. That's turned over. Heading into the far boards. Heiford flips that up on Black. Black knocks that down. Eagle's going to clear it away. 45 seconds left in the Canadians' power play. Eagle cycles in the near side. Now it's hard around the boards. Enriquez Gomez picks it up on the far side. Gets that to Heck. Heck shovels that down low. Davies knocks that free. Comes back to the point for Duffett. Duffett over to Enriquez Gomez. He's going to walk that down left side. Oh, threw that into the slot. That's going to be cleared away, but not out. Right side, Frostad. Chipped in. That's off the post. Heck had a good tip there. Just an inch on the wrong side. Frostad keeps that in the point. Duffett shovels that down low for Enriquez Gomez. Shot comes in, or a pass comes into the slot. Puck chipped over to the near boards. And the Spurs have killed off their penalty they're back to full strength. And this is why there's an icing call made with 5 minutes to go in the second period. First period, there was a big battle between these two teams. I'd say maybe for the first 25, 27 minutes of the game. But pretty much from the 13 mark on, it's been all Canadians, with a few glimpses for the Spurs. But the Canadians definitely in control of this game right now. Lots of offensive zone, though. That shot comes over the near side. Net comes off as the Canadians turn around and fire it. They're going to blow the whistle now. And we'll have a draw inside the KC zone. KC starting to ramp up the penalties. A lot of zone time for the Canadians here. Look to continue that offensive dominance with 4:45 to go in the second period. From the point, shot by Ulrich. That hit Burns in front, maybe a KC player, and is sent to the far corner. KC gets the puck out to center. Turcotte back to play it. Over to Ulrich. Ulrich moves that up the ice. Mansory knocks it down, but it's cleaned up by Schufelt. Schufelt will put that in the far side. Arm of the official up. Oh, the Canadians are going to end up in the box on this one. As KC moves that out to center. Oh, they're going to rush it in the zone. Here's Daw coming in. Puck swept over to the far corner. Turcotte gets a piece of it. Now the whistle goes. Interference being called on, is it Burnett? Indeed. Evan Burnett into the box, 2 minutes for interference called with 4:10 left in the second period. I don't see James in the crowd. I'll just assume that he might be still at work, so we'll say hi to James. Your kid just took a penalty. Puck won in the Canadian zone by the Canadians. They're going to dump the puck down the ice. Heiford back for the Spurs. Moved up the ice. Here's Heiford leading the way. That's hard off the boards. Up on the near side. Picked up by Gray. Gray. Puck pops past him and out to the neutral zone. Heiford with it again. Trying to go on the far side. Chipped in by Guinchard. Not very far. Comes up the far boards. Spurs able to keep it in the zone. That's good work by Heiford there. Centering pass coming to the near side. Gray couldn't catch up to it. He pulls it off the near boards. T. Gray sends that to the far side. Picked up by Prasad. Prasad. That's put out in front. Oh, sharp angle shot. Wide of the mark. Comes off the end boards. Spurs keep the zone. Low shot. That's off Black. Comes over to the open side. Gray activates. Couldn't get there first. Puck taken into the corner by the Canadians. And they're going to push it out to center. 50 seconds left in the Spurs power play. Davies moves that up the left side. Oh, dances into the zone. Nice moves there. Couldn't get past Turcotte, though. Puck chopped over to the near corner. Left there for Davies. Now it's moved back to Mansory, holding the point. Left side, centering pass on the right side. Oh, there's going to be another penalty against the Canadians. Oh, that goes in. That went in. Shot from the right side by the Spurs as their goalie had just come to the bench getting the extra attacker on. The Canadians were about to end up short-handed again. So the Spurs score on the power play with 2:32 to go in the second period. And now Turcotte ends up in the box. ready to go at center. Canadians up 5-1 on the Spurs. Spurs on the power play. Mansouri with the puck in his own zone. Moves that over to So. Back to Mansouri. Mansouri dumps that into the Canadian zone on the near side. Lang picks it up. Frostad finds it on the corner. Starts to eat up time. Comes loose for the Spurs. So left side for Lang. Lang tries to get inside of Yamniak. Yamniak was able to sweep the puck out to center. Spurs, Lawrence sends that out the right side. Looking for Mansouri. He picks up the puck. Carries that up the right side. Now it's chopped into the slot. High into the air. Black's gonna grab that and we'll hang on with 1:49 to go in the second period. When we drop the puck, the Spurs have 1:17 left in their power play. "32 seconds between the end of the period and the end of the power play for KC. KC wins the draw. Here's a shot from the point, kicked away by Black. Rebound swept away by the Canadians. Ulrich up to the Taylor. Taylor couldn't get it out. Kept in the right side by the Spurs, but the Canadians do, with a second effort, put the puck down the ice. Davies sets that up for Daw. Daw cycles to the far side. Davies back to Daw. Or is that? Nah. Here comes the Spurs into the Canadian zone. Puck put to the far corner. Pushed to the corner now. 25 seconds left in the Spurs power play, and the puck ends up hitting the roof on the clearing attempt. So the draw will be inside the Canadian zone with 55 seconds to go in your second period. Spurs win the draw. Davies, right side to Highford. Highford. There's a shot there from the right side by number 16 Prasad. Rebound comes out to center though. Highford. Over to Mansouri. Mansouri back to the near side. Davies is going to pick that up for the Spurs. Spurs. Power play's expired. Canadians get their man back on the ice. Spurs keep the zone though. Working around the Canadian side. Put it into the corner. Comes loose for Duffett. He lost the handle. Spurs trying to move that around. 10 seconds to go in the period. Duffett with the puck for the Canadians. Gets that over to Morris. Morris back to Duffett. Duffett. Far side for Dollywall. Dollywall up the far side. Check that. That's not Dollywall. That was West. Moving the puck down the ice. And then time expires on the second period. And when the Canadians look up the score clock, they find themselves with a 4-goal lead. What an outstanding second period for them. Put 3 behind the KC goaltender and head into the locker room up 4 goals. We'll let the sponsors have a word here, folks, and we'll be back here for the third period. Do, do, do. Alright folks, welcome back to the third period. It's up 5-1 on KC's. We drew off the puck for the second time. Puck's dumped into the Spurs zone. Battle for it on the far side in the Spurs zone. Yamniak shovels that down into the corner. Taylor tries to chase it up. Oh, back pass to Yamniak connects. Now it comes back to the point. Eagle over to Yamniak. Down low for Energies. Go to that sharp angle shot. That was saved by Kong. Sitting right on the doorstep was Zahara. Yamniak. Sorry, Yamniak. Face off far side in the Spurs zone, 19-28 to go in the third period. Puck to drop, Canadians win it from the point. There's a shot, tipped just wide. Zahara tries to put that out in front. That's cleared away by the Spurs. Can get out of the zone. Eagle holds the line, sends it to the far side. Now it's knocked down by the Spurs. Thrown down the ice. We'll have an icing call here with 19-12 to go in the third period. Face off. Far side in the Spurs zone. Spurs winning. Move behind the net over the near side. Soko. Up to Burns. Burns chips that into the Canadian zone. Ulrich back to play it. Ulrich going up the far side. That's knocked down. Looking for it is Tagliamonte. Comes into the near side. Tagliamonte. Up the boards to Soko. At the point. Chipped in front. That is cleared away by the Canadians. Good job by Prasad to direct that towards that, but that was still blocked. Canadians take it out to center. Now dump it into the far side of the Spurs zone. Spurs print that off the glass. Taylor knocks that down at center. Followed up by Heifert. Heifert gets into the zone. Backhand shot into the side. That's taken away by Turcotte. Bring it out to center. Soko with it for the Spurs. Near side for Heifert. Heifert puts the puck back into the Canadian zone. Always puts that out. Soko comes back in with speed. Here comes Soko towards the net. Back to it. Black comes over and knocks that away. I don't know if he missed. Black got a piece of that. What a save by the Canadians goaltender. Canadians get the puck out to center. Spurs dump it back in. Looks like we'll have a penalty here. Tripping is going to be called against the Canadians. And the guilty number is the guilty Canadian is Jackson Turcotte. Jackson Turcotte into the box, 2-minute penalty for tripping the ball with 17:52 left in the third period. Spurs with Davies, far side, put back to the point. He puts that hard around the boards on the near side. Picked up by the Spurs, coming back to the point for Davies. Turns it towards the net, gets blocked. Oh, comes off the iron. Black is able to find it, and he's going to hang on to this one with 17:34 left in the third period. Good movement by the Spurs. Send the puck down low, get it up the right side. Fired on net, but it's off the iron, stays out. Canadians win the draw in their own zone. Duff it over to Frostad. Frostad's going to put that puck down the ice. Davies back to play it. 1:30 left in the Spurs power play. Outlet, far side for Gray. Gray with the puck, slips across center, dumps that in. Oh, on the right side, what speed by Haverstock to get that in the corner. Reverse back to the far side. Puck pushed out. Haverstock activates again. That lands. Across that. Now the puck puck comes over to the near side, chopped up the boards, and Zahara's going to get that, put that down the ice. 1 minute to go in the Spurs power play. Gray with the puck. Gonna wait for Daw to come back to pick it up. Daw comes over to the near side. Gets the puck into the Canadian zone. Stops looking for a trailer. That trailer is Davies. Moves that over to the near side. Comes out front. There's a chance in the slide. Oh, and that. I don't know how Black got a piece of that. Stepping out of the line. Took that away. Puck goes out of play, and we get a stop here with 16:31 left in the third period. When we drop the puck on the far side in the Canadian zone, the Spurs will have 39 seconds left with the man advantage. Canadians win it. Eagle battles that off the boards, puts it down into the Spurs zone. Kong out to play it. Spurs move it up the ice. Here they come into the Canadian zone. Puck's put into the corner. Comes loose. Heck picks it up. He has space, so he's going to rush it up the ice. Finn Heck goes to the right side, makes the inside move. Kong takes it, puts it to the far corner. Canadians man out of the box. They're back to full strength as the Spurs move the puck into the Canadian zone. Lang kicks it to the far boards. Eagle back to chase it down. Gets it to Ulrich. Ulrich up the near side for Horn. No, should have been. But Thorolfsson comes back as the puck didn't quite make it to Horn. Nurse puts that to the far side. Chipped up to Mansouri. Mansouri with it. On the far side, there's a shot blocked by Duffett. Thorolfsson puts that down low for Ulrich. Ulrich right around the boards to Horn. Horn picks that up. Stretches that over to Thorolfsson on the wide side. Thorolfsson's coming into the zone. Puts that between the legs of Davies. That goes in the corner and he's dumped. And here comes the Spurs out with the puck. Turn around at center. West sends that back to Duffett. Duffett picks it up behind his own net. Gives it over to Morris. Morris trying to stretch it to West. That's too far for him. We'll have an icing call, and the clock stops with 14:50 left in the third period. Sends that up the right boards to Burns. Burns moves that over to number 16. Just that. Hayes gets the puck up to center. Puck bucked down by a high stick, so the whistle goes in the neutral zone here. While the face-off just outside the Canadian zone. 14:35 left in the third period. Win the draw. Puts the puck to the wide side. Gray jumps on that. Keeps the puck in the Canadian zone. Tagliamani battling behind the net. Goes over to the far side to Prasad. Prasad looking for Burns. Canadian's got a stick on that and it bounces out to the neutral zone. Gray picks it up for the Spurs. Sends that to the far side to Eifert. That's cut off by the Canadians. It bounces into the Spurs zone. And the Canadians are caught offside here. So the whistle goes with 14:04 left. Zahara wins the draw for the Canadians. Spurs bounce it off his stick. Yamia, Frostad. Up to Eagle, puts that up the left side, chipped in by Zahara. Spurs have it behind their own net. Davies cycles to the far side, now moves the puck up the near side to Haverstock. Haverstock clobbered into the corner by Eagle. Enriquez Gomez comes away with the loose puck. Cycles around the far side, trying to get to the line, and instead moves the puck up to Zahara. Puck shot back into the Canadian zone. Eagle moves it up the ice, looking for Enriquez Gomez. Zahara picks that up behind the net. Up high for Frostad. Frostad tries to drive down low. Puck chopped away from him, put out to the neutral zone. Eagle back to play it for the Canadians. 13-15 left in the third period. Puck comes up to center. Lucas Gomez shoots that to the far side. Soko back to play for the Spurs. Wheels that around the near side. They're going to say delayed offside, so the Canadians back off. Daw rushes in, loses at center. Lucas Gomez coming up the left side, back into the Spurs zone. Trying to drag that in front. That was taken away by Soko. Puck on the far side. Turcotte with it. Shovels that back into the Spurs zone. Spurs shovel it back out. Ulrich with it. Comes back to his own zone to reset. Moves it up the ice for Heck. Heck. Backhand pass was looking to connect with Schufeld on the far side. That was broken up by the Spurs. Prasad puts that up the near boards into the Canadian zone. Ulrich takes that, battles for it on the far boards. Comes back to the line, but not out. Kept in by Eifert. Down low, Turcotte for the Canadians. Off the boards, over to Ulrich. Ulrich has to move the puck quickly, and that's going to end up being an icing call against the Canadians with 12 left in the third period. So, Spurs trying to play up tempo. They're coming out looking much better than the second period, but the Canadians able to weather the storm thus far. Spurs win the draw. They take the puck below the Canadians' net. Centering pass, that's broken up by Heck. Moves it out to center. Mansory on the back check, chips it loose to Gray. Gray goes to the far side to Davies. Davies moves that into the Canadian zone. Black sets that up for Duffett. Duffett on the far side, cut off by Davies. Comes in the slot, that's cleared away to the far boards by Morris. Morris is just gonna dump that down the ice. Picked up by Schufelt on the right side. Gray comes back, takes the puck away from him, and then puts him into the boards. There's lost the handle. Schufelt gets it back for the Canadians. He moves that back to the point for Morris. Morris with it. There's a shot into the stick. Mansory knocks that down. Shoveled over to the near boards. Now it comes up to center. Morris picks it up again. He's going to dump that into the Spurs zone. Davies with it. Setting up behind his own net. Sends it to the far side. That's off the skate of Gouchard. Davies gets it back to Gouchard. Gouchard's going to move that up the ice. Back check by West. Takes the puck away. And Duffett puts it up the near side. Or puts it into the Spurs zone. Spurs move it out to center again. Duffett gets the inside track. Gets it up to Hoare. Hoare centering pass knocked down by Nurse. Nurse tried to move it to the legs of Thorvaldson. That's broken up by Hoare. Hoare shot, good save by Kong. Hoare sends that into the slot. It bounces over to Eagle on the near side. There's a fire into traffic. Kong got a piece of that. Comes back to Eagle again. Kong with another save. Cleared away by Nurse. Far side, Frostad holds the line. Walks it down. He lost the handle. Goes behind the net to pick it back up. Over to Thorvaldson. Thorvaldson down low for Frostad. Throws that in front. That's broken up by the Spurs. They're going to rush it up the ice. Here's Tagliamani up the left wing. Into the Canadian zone. Eagle stops his advancement. Loose puck on the near side. Thorvaldson. Good center. Edford keeps that in the zone. Over to Prasad. Prasad throws that into traffic. That's going to be cleared away by Eagle. Carson Eagle moves across center and then flips that into the Spurs zone. Picked up by Soko. Soko moves that up the near side to number 9, Burns. Burns gets into the zone. Good cut inside. Dollywall pushes him off the puck. Orange finishes the removal. Puck out to center. Burns with the puck. I bet Burns is going to. Not to say you overran, but you overran, Mr. Burns. So in sportsmanlike, they're calling a timeout. They're going to put Dollywall in the box too. They're both going at it. Put them both in the box. I think Burns might be getting the extra. We're going to find out here because they moved the face-off down into the Spurs zone. So it might be a roughing it and sportsmanlike. Oh, they're going to say 5-on-5 with the ball moves down. Ah, yes, that's where the whistle line puck was down in the Spurs zone. So the Canadians come out with Zahara, Gomez, and Yamia. Then on the back of the team is Tokon College. Canadians win the draw. Enriquez Gomez tries to drive towards the net. He's caught by Davies. On the near side. Max Ray shoots that into the neutral zone. Picked up by number 13. Canadians come back into the Spurs zone. Enriquez Gomez can catch up to the puck. He does get it into the slot, but that's cleared away by the Spurs. Matsuri with speed comes in the right side. There's a low shot. Black with the save, covers it up. And we'll get a stop here with 9:02 left in the third period. Face-off will be on the near side in the Canadian zone. Daw set to take the face-off against Sahara. Canadians win it. Morris with the puck behind his own net. Wants to get to Yamniak. Yamniak wasn't really looking for it. He was engaged with the Spurs defenseman on the far side. So it's up by nice call. 8:55 to go with the third. Daw and Zahara ready for it again, this time with the far dots. Daw wins this round. There's a shot from the point by So. That's knocked down by Yamniak. Moved up the ice. Zahara follows it up, gets Enriquez Gomez. Back to Zahara. Zahara turns, fires, and that's kicked away by Kong. Comes back to the point. Morris with it. Moves that up the boards. That's cut off from the far side by the Spurs. Turned over in the neutral zone. Duffin picks it up for the Canadians. Moves it up to Zahara. Zahara, there's a rip blocker save. Kong picked up by Gray. Gray moves that to the outside. That's cut off by Enriquez Gomez. He takes that into the corner. Moves that through the slot. Comes over to the near boards for Duffin. Duffin down low for Zahara. Zahara. Back to Yamniak at the point. Morris turns, fires. Kong with the pad save. Hang on, folks. We got an arm up. It looks like a slashing call is being issued to the CAC Spurs, number 11, Lang. Lost 2 minutes. Slashing called with 8:10 left in the third period. Canadians back on the power play. Drop will be on the near side in the Spurs zone.
CAC Spurs
Spurs win it. Put it on the far side. Ends up going out of play.
Time of the penalty, 8:10.
And Mr. Ken West wins a donut from roll up the rim. Congratulations, Ken. Face off far side in the Spurs game. And the Spurs end, so back to the game. Spurs win it. They dump the puck down in the Canadian zone. Black sets that up for Frostad. 1:45 to go in the Canadians' power plays. They move the puck up the ice on the far side. Hoare handles the entry. Moves it back to Frostad at the point. Frostad over to Hoare on the half boards. Hoare walking off the boards. Left side for Zahara. Back to Frostad. Frostad far side for Hoare. Hoare back to Frostad. Frostad finds some space. Hangs on. Steps back to the line. Pass to the left side to Zahara. Zahara, their shot. That's blocked. Comes into the slot. Stopped by Taylor. At the line, Frostad. Cross to the feet. And he takes number 10, Haverstock, out of the play. Low shot. Canadians get the puck back in the corner. And Frostad will end up in the box on this one. Stick ended up between the legs of Haverstock. He let it go, but the damage was already done. So, no more power play for the Canadians. We'll play 4-on-4 for the next 58 seconds. Puck's dropped. Wings trying to move it up the near side. Spurs initially kept it in, but now it goes out to center. Davies, far side for Lorenz. Lorenz fights off a check. Puck comes loose. Eagle can't get to it. Lorenz keeps sending to the near side. Puts it back into the corner for Tagliamani. Tagliamani ventures to the far side. Back to the point for Davies. Davies just barely kept that in. Turcotte finds the loose puck though and gets that out to center. Davies has that in the skates. Shufelt follows that up. Schufelt's in the zone. He's put against the boards. Richard follows it up though. Gets the puck back for the Canadians. Richard back to the point to Turcotte. Turcotte left side for Eagle. Oh, head. Richard hustling towards the net. Eagle just couldn't connect with him. Oh! What a shot there by Tagliamani as the lead pass connects with the Spurs forward. And the Spurs answer with 6:08 left in the third period. Does that count? That's a power play goal. Looks like it will be, as it was just as the Spurs got their man back on the box. Indeed, it's a power play goal. Scored by the Spurs, Tagliamani with 6:08 to go in the third period. Bring this game within 3. Still, it's 5-2 in favor of the Canadians. Both teams full strength. Spurs win it. Nurse gets into the zone, but he's checked off. Puck comes back to Nurse. Break side for Gray. Gray puts that into the corner, rolls around to Mansory. Mansory puts that in front. Black has to come out, and he covers it up as it's bouncing around in the slot. Whistle goes with 5:52 to go in the third period. And Black, a little slow to get up on this one. Looks like a Spurs player fell out and then wouldn't let him get out. Block stays in there, shakes it off. Face off near side in the Canadian zone. Spurs come away with it. Nurse cycles up high, feeds that into the near boards. Canadians gonna take that away. Richard moves that up the ice looking for Dollywall. That was tracked down by the Spurs. Nurse is gonna put that into the Canadian zone. Eagle back to play. Cycles over the near side. Shadowed by Prasad. Gets the puck up to Dollywall. Dollywall, right side looking for Richard. Just out of reach. Mansory's going to pick it up. Sorry. That was Heifert picking it up for the Spurs. Moved over the near side and down the ice. Eagle. Back to play it. Trying to go to the far side. Prasad cuts him off. Turned over at center. Prasad with it. Back to Heifert. Looking for Mansory, skips past him, and that'll be an icing call with 5:01 to go in the third period. Face off far side in the Spurs zone. Spurs come away with it. Pass to the near side to Burns. Burns coming in. That's blocked by Ulrich. Followed up by Lang. That shot blocked by Turcotte. Demyak trying to center, that's blocked. Followed up by Zahara, he gets that. Turcotte on the right side. In comes Enriquez Gomez. Back to the looking for Zahara. That's broken up by the Spurs. Spurs couldn't move it up the ice. They get it in their own zone. Now move it to the near side, to the Canadian side. Canadians put it back to center, up the near boards. Canadians into the zone. Enriquez Gomez hanging on to the puck. Back to the point to Ulrich. Ulrich fires it. Kong makes the save and hangs on. Ulrich trying to pace that, labeling it for the top corner. But Kong standing in the way. Makes the save with 4:18 left in the third period. The draw will be on the near side in the Spurs zone. Let's drop Canadians have it. Hoare shovels that down in the corner, picked up by West. West seals it, looking for some help from Thorvaldson. Winchard and Gray in there for the Spurs. Puck comes loose, there's a quick shot by Hoare. That's knocked down by Kong, and the Spurs going to move that up the ice. Spurs coming up the near side. Shoveled down low. Picked up by Lorenz. Canadians trying to move it out. Hoare able to skate it out now. Coming up the left side. Here's the inside move. Hoare couldn't get the shot off. Gray puts him into the boards. Into the front. Heck couldn't pull the trigger. His shot was blocked. Coming up the near side. Davies dumps the puck in the near side, and it's up to the far side of the Canadian zone. Spurs moving it down low. Throw out in front. That shot hit his stick and goes out of play. Nice setup by the Spurs. Maybe it was Black who got there with the stick save. Take another look at it as the Spurs move it in to that far corner after the dump by Davies. They move it off of the boards there. Puck comes into the slot. Low shot. And that ends up out of play. Puck's dropped, Canadians have it, they move that out to center. Spurs get it back in their own zone. Tagliamani on the near side. Dumps that into the Canadian zone, picked up at the far side by Matsure. Spurs put that up high, Tagliamani with a chance, that's blocked. Fearless move by the Canadians' captain Eagle, blocking that shot. Enriquez Gomez gets the puck out and into the Spurs zone, steps in the slot, but the Spurs going to remove it from him, move it up the ice. Tagliamani back into the Canadian zone, goes to the left side this time. Stick saved by Black and stays in play. Comes up the boards for Zahara. Zahara, right side to Enriquez Gomez. Enriquez Gomez fires that. There's a block by Eifert that will end up out of play. And we'll get a stop with 2:30 to go in the third period. Face off, far side in the Spurs zone. Still scrambled, goes to the far boards, picked up by Nurse of the Spurs. Moves that over, looking for Burns. Eagle steps in, keeps it on the near boards and in the zone. Still battling for it. Now comes loose, up the right side. So, centering pass, broke it up by Heck. Great back check there by the Canadians winger. Heck moves the puck up, looking for Schufeld. Schufeld upended in the Spurs zone. Burns back to play. Burns goes to the far side for Nurse. Skips over to Lang. Lang gets into the zone. Tracked down by Ulrich on the far side. Comes over to So feeds that back against the grain. That goes through everybody. Nurse was trying to tag that on the back door. Schufeld with the puck. Moves that up the near side. Lang with it. Picking the puck up at center. Hands that off to Burns. Burns, right side for Lang. Lang takes that into the near corner. Watched by Turcotte. Puck comes loose for Richard. Richard off the glass. Connects with Schufeld. Schufeld comes up the left wing. Crosses over into the high slot. There's a shot. Kong with the save. Schufeld following it up. Puck picked up by Davies. Swept over to the near side. Turcotte keeps that in the zone. Stopped behind the net by Nurse. Nurse going to the far side. We're under a minute to go in the third period. Last season game for these teams in the AEHL U16 division. Puck rolls back into the Canadian zone. Taylor with it. Right off the boards for Richard. Richard will just complete the clear and put that into the neutral zone. Spurs have it, trying to stretch it to the far side. That's cut off by Ulrich. Ulrich circles to the near side. Pass to Taylor. Taylor. Looking for Dollywall. Oh, he loosens up with the wall, gets to Richard. That's cut off on the far side by Hyford. He's going to come in with some speed. 15 seconds to go as the Spurs set up his own. Oh, shot Black with the save. Another one, and Black puts that away. Comes back to the point. Gray lifts on the pass. And that is turnover. Spurs with it one more time. Richard over the near side. That's going to do it. And the Canadians in the regular season with a win. They improved their record to 19-10. And now focus their sights on the playoffs. They're going to be ready to go March 10th. And do believe are fearless. Check this list. Tuesday, March 10th is the first round robin game, followed by Thursday, March 12th, and Saturday, March 14th. So folks, we get a little time to rest up, lick our wounds, heal the bruises, and get ready for playoff hockey. Once again, big thank you to Mr. Greg Eagle working the camera tonight. My name is Curtis Bykowski. I don't know if Andrew wants to do a post-game interview. We'll let it roll. We'll see if he does. Let's see here. We're gonna load this up just in case he does go. I'm not expecting him to, but we'll see. Take that off. Take that off. We'll see if that comes on. We didn't plan it, folks, so if it doesn't happen, don't be surprised. Nope, not gonna get it today. We'll just say thanks for tuning in all year, folks. I should be here for each and every playoff game, but we'll see how that goes. That's what happens with two kids in hockey. But big thank you for tuning in all year. And we'll see you in just over a week. Have a great night. Drive safe.